Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. You're back with another reaction. We're going to be watching a Bee Gees interview with Michael Parkinson, and I've been enjoying the Bee Gees journey, discovering some of their songs and throughout the decades, and discovering their versatility and their different sounds, in the different decades that they were active in. And I want to learn a little bit more about them. A patron of mine shared this interview with me, and I want to check it out. And yeah, here, let's go. Let's have a listen. It's from 1981. Okay.
Barry, Robin, and Morris, welcome.
Thank you.
Right. Morris. Some people have mentioned this to me, the pronunciation, because it's written in the French way, isn't it? Maurice, right? And of course, I'm Belgian, and we all automatically go to the French pronunciation, Maurice. That's how I was pronouncing it. Actually, I would say Maurice, but of course, then Anglify it, but it's Morris. Okay, I will remember that. Thank you for pointing that out, because I wouldn't have known unless I came across this first.
Thank you, Michael.
I like that. It's nice.
Thank you.
Smashing.
Thank you. Nice kids.
That was done in America.
It was done at our children's school in Miami.
Yeah. When, in fact, did you first start singing together? What was the first occasion?
1955, in Chorlton-cum-Hardy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of the great sin spots of the world.
Very young.
Yeah. But doing what? I mean, what were you doing?
Well, what we used to do when we were little children is, they have children's matinees like they have in the cinemas and places like that. We would try to cadge our way on stage to, most of the kids cadged their way on stage to mime to a record, Elvis Presley, whatever it was, they'd mime, And our record was Tommy Steele's Wedding Bells. At the time we were going to mime to that. How, I do not know, but we were going to. And we broke the record on the way to the theatre, so we'd been practicing singing at home with tin cans on brushes, and
Still got that?
So we decided to actually sing instead of mime to a record, and that was the beginning of our career.
That was the debut?
Wow.
Yeah.
But when did you first...
Hey, see? Sometimes you need to break a record to break some records for yourself. Hey, come on. They are record breakers for sure. Literally as well. Now we know they've been doing it since they were kids. It's amazing. They've been, basically doing music their entire lives. Just dedicated themselves to it, loved it, practiced it, just performed it for people, made it, created. It's insane. It just blows my mind.
Get together and discover you could harmonize like you can?
The first time I remember, Robin and I were about 6, Barry was 9, and we sat in the little lounge room, and Barry got his first guitar for his birthday, and the first thing we sang was Lollipop.
Lollipop?
Which is the Mudlarks sort of thing. It was the only one we just automatically harmonized. Don't ask me where we got the Lollipop from, but it was the only one that seemed to have the harmonizing on each step.
Guitar for your birthday.
That's right, my 9th birthday.
Yeah.
So it was the first song we sang.
Can you remember it?
Lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. I mean, if you've been doing it since it came, like naturally already, and now they're just, they're almost moving as one. It's as close you can get to somebody, when you're siblings, when you grew up together. And I know there's also Andy, of course, but even with friends or people you meet along the way, to become that in sync and close, it's almost impossible, right? You'll never have, you cannot replicate this, right? It's just once in a universe. I think there's no words for it. That was cool. it's like a barbershop trio in this
You
case.
Charlton Come Hardy, didn't you? On this recent.
But 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Yes.
But was that a very nostalgic trip?
No, they
back?
told us to get out. Actually, it was very nostalgic.
Yeah, but it was
a
too.
wonderful day we
Yeah,
had.
we saw the little house where we used to live. It was a big house when we lived there, but somehow it got real little, you know. And, we were stood in the lounge room
Funny
where the
how
man
that
who
works.
lived there now actually is where he keeps his pigeon, you know. So
You got a pigeon in the living room.
Yeah.
Right. Pigeon droppings everywhere.
flightless pigeon. And that was the lounge room where we first played. And the hardest part for us was imagining how us and Mum and Dad ever got into that room.
Yes.
Because it's like a
It
little
was
toilet.
5 kids.
Yeah.
Or for that matter, how Mum and Dad got in the bedroom.
It was 5 kids.
But I mean, how,
Quiet. Sorry.
how in fact, I suppose it was that kind of circumstance which led you to go to Australia, was it? I mean, that was the...
Well, it was
to get
Mum
away.
and Dad based. Don't forget we were kids, and it was Mum and Dad who made all the decisions, and they were looking for a better way of life, you know, rather than sitting in the back streets of Manchester, which was not all that pleasant at the best of times, and that's not really a put down of Manchester because we love Manchester, but they were looking for in that period of time. Dad wasn't earning an awful lot of money, so.
Not a lot, nothing in fact.
Well, I'll say we were living.
Well, don't be too nice.
But was it a better life when you got there?
Well, for us, it was like.
Well, it was an adventure. I mean, all we knew of Australia was kangaroos, koala bears, and aboriginals, and we expected to see them going down the main streets of. They said our first view was Perth, wasn't it? The docks at Perth.
That's right, and then Melbourne, and then Brisbane, which
And
is
Woolloomooloo.
Billy Connolly's favourite place.
Billy Connolly's very big in Brisbane.
Yes.
It's a good catch if he were very big in Brisbane. But what did
I
you...
need to check out more Billy
you had a
Connolly's
fairly hard
comedy.
time, I believe, when you first went out there. I mean, there
Yes.
wasn't the land of opportunity, milk and honey.
Well, he was a bush photographer.
A bush photographer.
Yes.
Yeah, photographed a lot of bushes.
He used to go out into
Man,
the
he's
small
out of a
towns
job
and
right now.
photograph people's families, you know.
Yeah.
That's right. People that had never even seen a camera. You know?
They had a caravan where they developed their own film, and they would shoot pictures of people and their families where they wouldn't go to a local chemist because they couldn't send off to get film
Right.
developed.
But
Send
that
the odd
would
20
make a
pound
fortune. So, I mean, did you help out? Were you performing
We did
then?
eventually.
Yeah, we started to do small club, small hotel work, which in actual fact we weren't allowed to be in. So because we were underage, so our father gave up that job and started managing us, in a sense. And he would always we'd have to come in the back door of these places, and
Try the
we weren't
welfare.
allowed to mix with audiences. We were too young.
Well, what was your act like then? I mean, were you
Rather dicey, I'm afraid.
Rather dicey.
But we used to do Peter, Paul and Mary segments.
Well, we used to old
Well,
songs.
My Old Man's a Dustman thing. You see, we were kids, and
We were very
kids,
little kids.
kids and dogs, you know, appeal very much to adults, you know.
And how old were you, in fact, at this time?
At this particular stage that you're talking about, we were probably about 7 and 9. We were 7, Barry was at 9.
And what kind of curious gigs did you do in that period, apart from the clubs? You do any other kind of work?
Speedways.
Yeah.
Speedway.
We worked in a speedway, that's
Which
right.
people throw money. We've actually had people throw money at it.
Well, in between
What's
the
a
races,
speedway?
you know, it wasn't during the races. It was mostly in
Although
between.
sometimes I wonder which way it should have been. But they would throw money on the track, we'd sing some songs, and then and we worked in places like dockside clubs where sailors would actually have beer drinking competitions during the show, or there'd be a torrent of water pouring through a tin roof.
During monsoons and things
Yeah.
like that, you know. It's true.
There used to be people sitting at tables and they would physically fight without standing up. Australians are great, you probably know that too. They'll get into a fight for any reason whatsoever. So they'll sit in front of us while we're singing and they'll be hitting each other across the table.
I hit him again. I suppose the big revolution.
It really is cool to hear these stories and what came before the fame, and sometimes artists, or they hit the club circuit or bars or whatever environment you can perform your art and try to hone your skills, and you get some wild stories from those days from all artists who've done it, who came up that way. Nowadays it's totally different. You can blow up from behind your desk or never leaving the house, but that the charm of that life, it's kind of disappearing, which is sad, right? Damn.
In your lives would come when the Beatles hit.
That's right.
I mean,
Yes.
that must have changed your thinking about what you wanted to be and the kind of music.
When hair started stretching and point-to-toe shoes started getting rounder and things like that.
Boots.
That was for us.
I need
Yeah,
some of
pointed
those
toe
Beatle
and out the
boots
Cuban
people
heels
keep
came
talking
in.
about.
The
It
brill
certainly
cream
helped
was out the
us
window.
to, in that particular era, because it was the time when the Beatles first came around. It was the first time where pop music had a sort of seal of seriousness about it, rather than the solo singers with Brill Cream, you know, which was before the Beatles. It sort of added a sort of seriousness to the art of popular music, and that's what the Beatles. If any, the Beatles that did anything that was quite serious,
made it
was bad.
respectable.
Yes.
They sort of made it on a more.
What were you writing?
Nice. Every time you hear people talking about the Beatles, there's all these big artists who have created legacies of their own and made such an impact. You know, there's a lot that I've now been listening to memoirs or reading autobiographies, and there's always like, oh, when I bought that first Beatles record. But of course, the Beatles, they had their own influence, right? And I've learned a bit about that because of, you know, going through their albums, especially the first ones where there's a lot of covers of artists that came before them and influenced them. Of course, there's Buddy Holly and you know, all these pioneering artists from just before. But really, when the Beatles came, you hear so many people. There's like a pre-world and a post-Beatles world, right? And they inspired so many artists. It's amazing. And then Bee Gees have inspired so many as well. And what a ripple effect it has if you have a gift and share it with the world. You just don't know who you will affect. Just like they were talking about getting a guitar for your birthday. It's a gift, but look what it has done for them and for us in turn. It's so cool.
Songs at that time. Yourself?
Barry was first, then Robin.
Well,
and
we
then myself.
probably have the track record that beats them all. We had about 13 flop singles in a row.
Really?
Which we haven't beaten yet,
Australia.
folks. You never know your luck.
This is when we lived in, this is when we lived in Australia.
Yeah.
As kids, because we had a recording contract with
Well, they called it that.
a big record company that had very little time for children. And because we didn't understand as children that there wasn't really a market out there in the teenage market for records, you know. No matter how good the songs may have been at the time, they just didn't appeal.
What was the first record you ever made? Do you remember?
Yeah, hang on.
Yes. Hang on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my shit.
Getting a demo here. Getting a demonstration.
Now this is completely rehearsed. This is, it is. Because we don't do this normally. We don't actually sort of spontaneously sing it. We have not rehearsed this song.
Okay.
What are you doing?
3 Kisses.
Right. This is the first song we ever recorded. It goes way back, folks. So the
You
lyrics
don't really
are
want to hear this, but we'll sing it anyway, right?
Let's do it.
Remember, try and visualize 3 little kids. I know it's very easy. But,
Kiss me once, oh yeah, baby. Kiss me twice, oh yeah, crazy. Kiss me 3 times, the 3 kisses of love. Oh yeah.
Beatles influence.
Morning, noon.
Watch the hands. Yes, right. That's all right. I don't think you want to hear any more.
no, I don't think he does.
Oh man, their harmonies are so great, and there's, you know, different bands and groups that have great harmonies, like the Beatles or like the Beach Boys, and of course Bee Gees. When they, especially the Bee Gees, when they come together with their harmonies, it is like, you know, when Power Rangers, you know, they have their Zords and then they come together. What's the other one though? From the previous generation, when you get a super robot and then it's like, I don't know. There's like a comic book for that too, right? But the Power Rangers, they had the Megazords and all the robots come together to create one robot. That's like what they have, or like when you have a wizard, you know, and they crossed wands. Ooh, that sounded wrong. You know, to have an ultra laser or a beam of magic, you know, that's what their voices sound like, separately, really great, distinct. You can recognize them. They come together and you have like a superpower, you know, it like beams up into the sky like the bat signal, or, you know, man, it's amazing. It's just, it turns into one voice, a separate voice. But if you listen closely, you can also hear the 3 voices within that sound. It's amazing.
What was the breakthrough though? What was there one?
The breakthrough was
Wine and Women.
Was a song called Wine and Women, which
we were a little bit older when this came out, I suppose. Again, unrehearsed.
again,
This was This was in Australia again.
Yeah.
Great intro.
Great.
Wine and women and song will only make me sad. Love and kisses and hearts to think I never had. If this should end, I don't mind. If this should end, I will find. I won't complain. I won't complain.
I feel no pain.
I feel no pain.
That's it about one.
When you came to England, it must have been fairly difficult to get yourself established. Was it rough?
Very
Well,
right. It was-
Yeah,
oh, all right.
yeah,
Go on.
no, carry on.
I don't mind.
Please, no, please.
I don't mind at all.
Well, we got off the ship at Southampton and we met this group who were all dressed like the Beatles were in Hard Day's Night with the black cloaks, you know, I don't like business. And they said, you know, go back.
Oh, you're doomed.
That's like three shadows, three ghosts, you know. It's on the railway track.
Groups are out. That was the statement, which is pretty amazing, you know, considering that groups still do all right, you know. Groups are out, go back. So we didn't, but that was the message. And we went to see people like the Great Organization and all these people who said, we can get your club work, boys, but groups are out. They said the same thing again to us.
And who was it, one of the grades we went to see who just...
Yeah, well, don't quote the poor man because, you know.
All right.
He's got 2 phones in his car now.
All quoting, but he did say go away.
Yeah. But your big breakthrough came with a couple of marvelous songs that you did.
Yeah.
The New York mining disaster.
That's right.
And Massachusetts.
Yes.
Right.
New York mining disaster is one of my favourite songs. But where did it come from? I mean, the idea for that.
Well, Polydor Records, yeah, please.
It came actually, it was written in a very sort of strange place for that type of song. It was written in the basement of Polydor Records at Stratfield Court in London. And with all the lights out. We write our songs in very, very peculiar places.
Yeah.
And it was on stairs, in the dark. And I suppose, you know, because it was the atmosphere, you know, I mean, we didn't realise, of course, it was midday and it was right in the middle of the offices of Polydor at the very time, but, you know. But the lights were out anyway. Now, we just made up the song.
Well,
But
the fact that we couldn't see each other.
But what was the thought line in New York mining disaster? Had there been a New York mining disaster?
No, we made it up.
Well,
Well, there was a mining disaster
There
in
was.
New York about 1935, but it didn't relate to the song at all.
It was in the state of New York.
We made it up. We were just sitting in the dark and we couldn't see each other. And that was where the idea sprang from. So what would it be like trapped in, say, a mine, for instance, and you can't see each other? Can we write something about that?
Yeah.
We're very pessimistic people.
On the same token, we wanted a song that, as it was our first single in England, we wanted a song to draw attention as well. So a title like that was not to be dismissed, you know.
Well, the idea in those days was to come up with the most ridiculous title you could come up with.
We didn't want to, I mean, Matt Monro could not have recorded this song.
Well, will you play it for us now?
Yeah, sure.
I love this song.
I don't know if I heard this one. I don't think so. I would remember it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
The title
In the
sounds
event
familiar.
of something happening to me,
Oh, right. I think
there
I
is
heard a medley.
something I would like you all to see. It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones?
Right.
Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones. I keep straining my ears to hear a sound. Maybe someone is digging underground. Or have they given up and all gone home to bed? Thinking those who once existed must be dead. Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you'll cause a landslide, Mr. Jones.
Nice.
Looking at you here now, playing together and so obviously enjoying yourself, it's difficult to believe that, in fact, you ever split up as you did.
Yes.
Because after the success created by this period we're talking about now, these songs around, you did split up and you went your separate ways. Did you actually dislike each other?
I didn't know that.
I think intensely at one point. We just did not get
Actually,
along.
yeah, I was more or less in the middle, though. It was always between
Robin and me, really.
Trades would say one brother one week, and one brother would say something about the other brother the next week. And what was your opinion about that, Morris?
Having said all of that, Michael, no, I think the thing about that is that when it happened at the time, I think a lot of people that remembered it, that were around at that particular time, don't remember that we were very young at the time, a lot younger than people realise, and that we were also very green to the kind of success that we had initially.
Right.
And I don't think each of us individually knew how to handle it. And we had a lot of egos. Young people develop very fast and very quickly, and a lot of things that are of value to a young person are very superficial, including like relationships don't mean a thing.
Yes.
You know, for instance, or how close someone is, or the fact that you're brothers don't mean anything.
Or when you're hurt at that age, you're hurt forever.
You know, yeah, that's right.
As opposed to when you get older and you mellow out and you realise that there are you can get around these situations. And
Yes.
It was a success that was tearing you apart. I mean,
Well,
you
that's
couldn't
right. Yeah,
handle
we didn't see it as sort of saying, it's success tearing us apart. We never thought of it like that. We thought, it was very easy for somebody to get one of us aside and say, you don't need the other two. You know, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
we had a lot of
Something,
that.
that kind of thing. We're very green and very sort of trusting.
I think it still happens with groups.
There's probably a lot of, first of all, it's like he said, a young success, working with your family every day, like there's this, Ram Dass, the yogi, the guru, he said one time, if you think you're enlightened, if you feel you're enlightened, go spend a month with your family, see how enlightened you are, which is true, right? It's tough for a lot of people to just, even just a yearly Christmas party could be too much, just to be working every day with your family. For some people it works. Some people really, they find a lot of joy in it, but it's tough when financial situations come up and other people, like you said, are like the devil on your shoulders. And hey, you don't need those two. You're much better than them. And then he goes to somebody else. These two brothers of yours, they're dragging you. They're slowing you down. You could do much better on your own, and they're trying to get a piece of the pie, and they want a bigger slice. So if you cut two off, you might be able to make more money off of them, and that's tough. Or that's another element that makes this harder, and especially when you're young. Like he said, relationships don't mean that much. You don't think of it as, oh, this is my brother. This is for life. That's a profound insight that he said there, and it's real honesty as well. I like that. Yeah, and the older you get, the more you value those relationships and all the other things you used to value that doesn't mean so much anymore, right? That's a great way of putting it.
Today,
Nice.
very much.
I love that.
But
People
again,
try
it's
to
his
split them up.
experience,
Too much money, ego. When you buy 2 or 3 cars that generally people cannot afford at all, and you buy 3 of them, and that's an example of it. It was pure craziness.
Yeah.
There was no sense. There was no logic.
Lack of maturity.
Like a material. Well, when you were
There's no
when you
manual
were apart,
to
though, I mean,
how
were you
to deal with
miserable
this.
then?
Oh, fed
That's
up.
what brought us back together. Yeah.
Really?
Well, Rob,
Yeah, you sat in a bedsitter in Madrid.
Really?
No, it's actually, Robin puts it down to a fine sort of example, because when he had a hit with Saved by the Bell, we had a hit with Don't Forget to Remember, and they both went to number 2. And the thing that he pointed out was is that once you had a number 1 record, or a big record, there was no one to share it with. You could turn around and say, guess what, love, to the wife, the record's number 1. She goes, oh, that's nice, dear. When you could share it between the 3 of us, we missed all
I
that.
think it was the fact that some bastard was keeping us out of number 1. Got to number 2.
Did you ever at that point, though, any of you, did you feel like giving it all up? And
we've considered that over a year. I think individually, when you get depressed now and again, you think, God, I think I'll toss it in. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Yes.
But I'm glad we didn't. We never did. We sort of remind ourselves of maybe it's a bit radical, of a sort of 3 Musketeer type situation.
Yes, that's radical.
We're very close.
Yeah, it is very radical.
It is pretty radical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, anyway.
All right, 3 Stooges is probably close.
Curly, Larry and Moe.
Yeah, right.
That's
No,
You were going to say?
Yeah, well,
continue.
that is what is between us, and it's so much more fun being together.
But do you think it's also because we're brothers?
Yes, it might become a bond.
It might play.
But I think, anyway, sorry, Mark. back.
No, I was just going to ask you to play a bit more music, actually, because I do like listening to you. I want you to do Massachusetts.
Oh, you hum it, we can play it.
Yeah, you should do that.
I have to tune like Billy.
Any particular reason why you want to hear this, Mike?
Well, I know, I was going to... You should be doing my job. No, I just wanted
How did you start in this game?
I don't know. I met this fella in a pub.
General tune-up. This is
It's all right. Billy Connolly did it and got away with it. Yeah, it's great.
I don't think I've checked out any of his music.
Sounds good. Come on, I'm getting husky.
Okay, we're right.
Massachusetts, folks.
Got these intros. I'm going to line.
Feel I'm going back to Massachusetts. Something's telling me I must go home. And the lights all went out in Massachusetts the day I left her standing on her own. Trying to hitch a ride to San Francisco. Gotta do the things I wanna do. And the lights all went out in Massachusetts. They brought me back to see my way with you. Talk about the life in Massachusetts. Speak about the people I have seen. And the lights all went out in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is one place I have seen.
Oh, hearing them sing together, these acoustic versions, it's almost like a spiritual experience. I love Robin's voice. I've said this already in other reactions, but man, such a unique voice. And I love Barry's speaking voice, by the way.
As I said in my... I mean, that's the real standard. I mean, that would be sung as long as people sing popular music.
No, that would be nice.
What is that?
We haven't heard it since we recorded it.
It's a beautiful
No,
standard
we
song.
have.
Do you think of your music that way?
Yeah.
Do you,
Well, we are
Because-
mostly songwriters.
We probably take our
Yes, we
music
do.
more seriously than anyone might imagine we do. We get very offended when anyone puts our songs down. We get really hurt.
But any
situations.
songwriter would,
Yeah.
or a
Yes.
writer
Yeah.
or of a book would, you know,
Yes.
the author.
You shouldn't really take it all that seriously, but we do.
Well, it does
are
get
the-
up our nose.
I
It just,
understand.
what are the statistics of what you've done, though? Who's the statistician here? Who's the one who... I mean, you've done everything that... Well, you've done more than any other group of musicians, apart from the Beatles, haven't you, basically? That's
So one of the records is that we've actually equaled the Beatles record in America, which is 6 consecutive #1 singles, which we're very proud of.
Yes.
And
Of course.
Plus we've got the number one, the biggest selling album of all time, which is nice.
Yeah.
which is the... Saturday Night Fever. Well, that again was extraordinary because, I mean, your career was down, you came
That's
back
right.
up again.
That's right.
You are in the introduction, I said you're battlers, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, is that...
Yeah, that's why I'm not, the history, I'm learning more. And of course, I mentioned in the beginning, there are different sounds in different decades and the adaptability and versatility I have, adapting to the times that are changing, the sound, the music that is changing, writing for different people, writing for themselves. But a lot of people say, "Oh, I like like the pre-disco era." Some people like the more the disco era, and then or later on, maybe even early 2000s. I think it all depends on first of all what style of music you like and what style of music you maybe were first introduced to, because there's a lot of nostalgia into going into that, and people with a long career, a longevity, they always pick up new fans along the way, but and they want to explore different avenues themselves because they don't want to do the same thing over and over. It gets stale, right? Creative people want to be creative and don't want to make the same thing over and over again. So you're gonna lose people along the way, or people are gonna get stuck in listening to your old stuff and maybe not so much the new stuff. And some people are along for the journey and love everything they do, and it's I think it's a sign of a long, long career and a very experimental and open attitude. I love that, and of course, not every song is gonna hit the same. That's just a fact. But it is quite amazing if you have like fans born in different decades, right? That's amazing.
By nature.
Well, it's.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Well, I
think
think in
so.
that
It's
particular
like.
period that we had in the mid '70s, where we had a pretty bad period because, for the fact of the matter is, we were very young even then at the time. We weren't ready to give up.
Yes.
And I think it was very strange at the time. It was more so in England than it was in the States, because in England they were going through a very peculiar musical phase at that time, with this sort of which was described as metal rock or heavy
Right.
metal, which is. And again, as we were writers and producers first, we hadn't really explored all the avenues of our, of our research, of where the areas we wanted to research. We found we could do this more in the States, which meant we had to leave England at that particular period, about 1974, to go and, go more in the studios in the States, which is mainly Miami, where we have our own studios now.
Yeah, we love England very much, but at that time we felt like the people in England weren't really interested in the Bee Gees. They were interested in everything else, and we felt sort of as if we shouldn't be around, And so that reason we thought, if we went to America, we have a chance of making it back, but if we stay here, we might not, because there was people knew us so well, and they weren't prepared to accept us coming back
Right.
so easily. So that's the reason we did it.
Well, you made the right move, and you are back.
Yes, we are.
And it's good to see you back.
It's nice to be back.
And you're going to, in fact,
That's
you're going
cool.
to play us out tonight with a little Christmas.
Are we finishing off already?
Isn't that amazing? Doesn't time fly when you're having a good time? That's right, absolutely. Yeah.
So what are you going to sing for us, Michael?
I'm not going to sing.
Hang on a minute, it's just a second. You just
I
said
am
that you were going to sing out with a hymn.
You're a right stir. I can see why you used to argue.
yes.
You're going to do a little holy
Yes.
saladite.
All right.
Is that a C?
Yeah.
Here we go, folks. Hold on, look. Oh, it's all right, it's a technical thing. It's nice, isn't it?
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
That was
Wonderful.
lovely.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was great to have an interview, plus hearing them sing together, play the guitar a little bit, and listening to the banter between them sometimes. And yeah, it's, getting a little bit of the backstory when they grew up and how they kind of started, just in a nutshell, because of course, there's a lot of history, so many things I would need to learn to become a Bee Gees aficionado. But yeah, this is a good start, and I'm looking forward to learn more about them, hear more of their music, And if you have any recommendations, let me know. Thank you for being here. Have a great day. Goodbye.